Hi, and welcome to the Boat Princess podcast. My name is Nicky Vaux, and I'm your host. I am a boat owner, a marina owner, a director on the Marina Industries Association, and a huge advocate for boating. In this series, I'm sharing the stories from every nook of the boating industry with the intention of encouraging more women to join me and for more women to get behind the helm too. I want to share the experience and opportunities of boating, of the boating industry, and I want you to join me as I bring the conversations and answer all the questions you've had. Boating is not just for the glamorous and rich and famous. It's full of beautiful and interesting people making the most of our natural environment and getting out there, enjoying the waterways. So let's let off the lines, take over the helm, and escape to the world of boating. So, welcome everyone to another episode of the Boat Princess podcast. I am excited to introduce to you today one of the women I know well in the industry, and I've loved seeing her career path as it has been. Her name is Christine Roberts. She is the Membership and Sponsorship Manager for Amex, Super Yacht Australia, and also the Australian Commercial Marine Group. So, like all women, she is a multitasker. Christine, welcome.
Thank you, Nikki. Great to talk to you.
Tell me, how do you manage your time across those three different roles? Is it three different roles, or how does it work for you?
It's a similar role across the three groups, actually. So we have a small office. There's only four staff and an extra staff member also in Brisbane. But so I guess all our roles are, very hands-on. Everybody does across all boards, all roles, all responsibilities. But my primary focus is membership and sponsorship manager. And basically, really, I'm tasked with retaining and growing membership for those three organisations, and then looking across at our events side, looking for sponsorships and partnerships for a lot of the activities that we do that covers all three entities really. So some are more major than others in terms of, for example, our yearly conference, but that yearly conference certainly is geared towards all three of those different entities.
So you're a real relationship person. You're building relationships all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, with both your sponsors and your members.
Yes.
Mm. So give me an example, Christine, of somebody that might be a member of, say, Super Yacht Australia.
Right. Super Yacht Australia, we have a very diverse membership group, but they could be Super Yacht Crew Academies, so the actual training companies that provide courses for people keen to get into the industry. We have marinas and yacht clubs which have super yacht facilities and berths. We have insurance companies such as Pantaneous that specialise in providing insurance for the industry, for super yacht owners. We have providore companies that supply provisions for super yachts. We have uniform companies such as Quality Marine Clothing that provide uniforms for super yacht crews.
And the Boat Princess.
Yeah. We have finance and foreign exchange companies that are obviously dealing with a clientele that are, keen on super yachts, planes, trains, cars, fast, anything fast and luxurious. So it's a huge spectrum.
It really is, isn't it? Yeah,
absolutely.
It covers so many different spaces. That's quite incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got, companies that are involved in the manufacture of super yachts.
So the Bonettis of this world.
The Bonettis of the world.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. And do you have a favourite between the three?
Of the three?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the Super Yacht Group. Yes.
Yeah.
So I love Super Yacht Australia.
Yeah.
So I guess, we're very active with Super Yacht Australia in terms of events, in terms of raising the awareness of the super yacht sector in Australia and of chartering. So you've got, all aspects of the tourism side of it as well, which is exciting, and generally really helping to grow that whole sector and the interest in that sector in Australia. I'm excited also by our Amex group. So really supporting those companies, Australian companies that are manufacturing and exporting products for the marine sector is also.
And just for our listeners listening, that wasn't Amex, it's Amex. So it's AIMEX, which stands for?
The Australian International Marine Export Group.
Yes. So just to clarify that for our listeners. Now, let's talk about you, Christine. Born here, born somewhere else?
No, born in Sydney, born on the North Shore. Grew up not far from exactly where we are today.
There you go, because we're at our marina today, folks, at Empire Marina Bobbin Head, so which is on Sydney's leafy North Shore, as we call it. So did you go to one of those North Shore schools, darling?
I did, yes. I have to
which
confess
one, darling?
A public school to start with.
Yeah.
And then Pymble Ladies College.
Oh, she's a PLC girl. Oh, how exciting. We've got a PLC girl on the podcast, folks.
And then I saw the light and moved to the Northern Beaches.
Fair call. Yes. Northern Beaches is a rather beautiful part of the world. Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
Yeah, the North Shore's beautiful, but the beaches are quite incredible. So your career didn't start in boating, did it?
No,
How did your career start, my love?
My career was in PR and communications and publishing. So I probably spent really the first 10 years of a busy working life with PR agencies, working on a variety of clients. And in publishing, I do a lot of writing. I've written for business magazines, company magazines, annual reports, all that side of it. I took a bit of a strange twist following that and worked for a big tobacco company.
Oh, okay.
In their regulatory affairs department, and that was an interesting role that actually came up through one of my PR clients. And so I worked for them for British American Tobacco for 18 months during the time of their merger. And that was just a fascinating period of my life, something completely different. And then I went into real estate after that. And
Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
I was a senior property manager for actually St Ives Real Estate for 7 years.
That's a very busy role, a property manager,
Very
isn't
busy role. Yeah, really hectic role for 7 years. And that probably did a pretty good job of burning me out for a while. And it was just post that we moved to Pittwater. And then I sort of started a whole new adventure. And I was manager of a bookshop, a well-known bookshop down in Mona Vale, Berkeleau Books, for a while.
I love Berkeleau Books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Are they still there?
Yes.
Oh, yes, lovely
So
store.
I was there for 3 years, and during that time...
When was that?
Oh, golly, let me think. That would be about 13 years ago.
Okay.
13, 14 years ago, probably.
Just before I moved to Mona Vale. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And during that time, we worked closely with the Royal Motor Yacht Club at Broken Bay because Karen Bald was doing a lot of events.
The lovely
she was
Karen.
General manager there.
Yeah.
And Berkeleau would work with her. I would organise to co-promote the event. If they had authors there, we'd help them arrange authors, bring their books in, attend those events. So she and I spent quite a lot of time working on those events together. And then she actually suggested I might like to apply for a role at the Marina Industries Association.
Oh.
She was a director there.
Yes.
And I did apply for that and I was successful. So I became the membership and administration officer for the MIA.
See, us board members are always on the lookout for goodies.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was wonderful because I'd really sort of got into boating and just my love of the water and everything by that stage. And I was sailing, my children were sailing. And to me, it was just a combination of everything I loved. So I was working in a sector that I absolutely loved and living, in Pittwater, and it was great.
That's wonderful. And that tell me about that sailing. What sort of sailing?
My sailing? I did my initial sailing through Royal Prince Alfred and just on Wednesday, ladies racing.
So you jumped on somebody else's boat sort of thing?
Yeah, well, initially I just did the training courses and then did some crewing. And then my husband at that stage got into yachting in a big, big way and was in a syndicate and did Sydney to Hobarts. And I guess we were all really drawn into sailing at a different level then.
Yep.
Not keen on ocean racing, so that wasn't my dream to do that. But certainly sailing around Pittwater and the harbour is something that I love, and I'm back into doing that now, which is great.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So the kids still sail?
No, none of them do.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
It's funny how that happens sometimes,
I guess
isn't it?
they move on and then they move away from here and they move into the city and they've all got their careers. But my youngest daughter was a very competitive sailor through her school and absolutely loved it. So we certainly spent a lot of time around the sailing clubs and
that's a good lifestyle for the kids, I reckon.
Fabulous. Yeah. Absolutely great lifestyle. Yeah. They all actually went from that into surf lifesaving really, and that's, I guess, what took up the next few years was more involvement with surf lifesaving, which is equally a great area for kids to be involved in.
Absolutely. You still volunteer for surf lifesaving, don't you?
Whale Beach, yes.
Yeah.
I haven't for a little while, so I'm not as active in that as I used to be.
Yeah.
And that's actually how I caught up with my current boss, David Good.
Here we go.
Because he moved down to up to the northern beaches and we caught up at the Whale Beach Surf Club.
Okay. So, Christine, you do some volunteer work for the surf living still, don't you?
Not anymore at the moment, but I did for many years, yes. I was actually a liaison parent between the school where my son was at Knox and Whale Beach Surf Club. And then my daughter got very involved with the club as well as a trainer, chief trainer, and we lived very close to the club. So, yeah, I was really involved in it, but have not really done too much on that voluntary side of the last couple of years, no.
And I have a feeling that's where you met David Good, wasn't it?
It was. Well, David and I knew each other from the Marina Industries Association during that period. When he was up in Cairns, they were a member of ours at the MIA, and we kept in touch. And when he moved to Sydney, he actually moved to the same suburb where I was living. So we caught up down at the Whale Beach Surf Club.
There you go. So job interview over a glass of wine, I'm guessing.
Yeah, eventually. Eventually. I was actually working at Middle Harbour Yacht Club at that stage. So
oh, were you? With Karen?
With Karen again.
Yes. There you go. Yeah. So you went from MIA to Middle Harbour?
I actually went from MIA to another industry association called the Accommodation Association of Australia.
Oh, yes.
So that was an interesting change because it took me, I guess, away out of the boating sector and more into general tourism and accommodation, which was really interesting.
Yes.
Amazing how many people you come across that are just across, all these areas. So a lot of contacts were kept up with and maintained. And that was an interesting period of time too.
And interesting, I always think marinas are like hotels anyway.
Yeah.
They're just, room space for boats instead of room space for people. That's how I regard marinas.
Very similar in so many ways, very similar. But I guess, working in a cold city building in the middle of Pitt Street wasn't really my preferred place.
Yes.
So when Karen contacted me about working at Middle Harbour Yacht Club, that was pretty exciting. Yeah. Too good to say no to. So.
Yeah, because Karen is a fantastic model for women in the industry. Yeah, mentor. She's now in WA, isn't she?
Yes.
Oh, she's not in WA.
And about to move again.
Oh, is she? Have to catch up with Karen. Find out the goss.
She's crossing the country.
Oh, yeah, she's a fantastic woman. Yeah. So tell me about your time at Middle Harbour Yacht Club then.
Well, I was membership and marketing manager as well. And so that was, again, building, I guess, retaining and building membership within the club, helping, assisting with all the events that we ran there as marketing manager, and an exciting difference because then I really became part of, I guess, the yachting side of boating.
Which is quite different, isn't it?
Very different. Yeah, very different to marinas and facilities and I guess that side of the industry. So instead it was really being part of a club and a big racing club, big yachting club. So I found that very exciting because I was involved with helping coordinate the regattas, doing the marketing for those. It's a very active racing club and with a very loyal, big membership base. So that was a great time there.
And I know they have a really good kids program there too, don't they?
Yes, they're Discover Sailing, yes. They've got great kids
So
set
tell
up.
us about that.
Well, that sort of operated almost within a little, business centre of its own, but certainly, they ran fantastic programs through the holidays for kids of all ages. They've also got the Olympic sailing base there at Middle Harbour. And so I think for young kids learning to sail, the tackers level, they can see these Olympians literally training right there in and out of that club. And it's huge motivation. They can really see if they've got a love for the sport or if their family are heavily involved in sailing, they can see that there's enormous opportunity there for competition, not just locally but globally.
Yeah.
And it was certainly a hugely exciting whenever, the Olympic teams came down and, were there on the deck and the kids were able to go and meet them, all these sailing heroes.
That's pretty exciting, isn't it?
It's fabulous.
Yeah, very cool. So, Christine, give me a highlight of your career in this wonderful boating industry that we all work in.
Well, there have been many, but I guess one of the most exciting things I did was have the opportunity to lead a marina tour of Australian marina operators, yacht club operators, over to Europe, specifically to Italy and Croatia and Slovenia.
Oh, I missed out on that one.
I know. You were busy on it. But fantastic opportunity both for myself and for those operators to also see firsthand practices and operations of yacht clubs and big marinas in some of those European cities. And it was just fantastic. And look, we took over half a dozen operators and from all different types of marina facilities. Some were from clubs, some were from yacht from marinas and shipyards. And we did a variety of facilities in Venice for 3 days and then into Slovenia and the western side of Croatia. And it was really looking, deeply into their operations and their services, even their software that they were using, looking at any trends that, they may be following over in Europe or developing. And the idea was most of those operators were encouraged to, use the opportunity and look for new ideas to bring back to their facilities in Australia or vice versa. Talk to these operators over there and just let them know what was actually happening back here with their own facilities. And it was it was a wonderful time away and a fabulous opportunity.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. The European marinas are quite different in their operation to us, aren't they? There's things like, when our clients sometimes say, oh, my boat's very close to the one next door, you have to say, well, actually, if you're in Europe and you're in a super yacht, you have to use your engines to push the other super yachts further away to actually get into your berth. So, it really isn't an issue here. And they're much more transitional as well, aren't they? They've got visitors coming into their marinas all the time, whereas a lot of our marinas, especially in Sydney, are kind of permanent residents, as it were, with the occasional transitional visitors. So it's a very different style of operation over there. We've got some wonderful friends that own marinas over there and Marina Punat in Croatia and beautiful people.
Wonderful.
And we just love hearing when we're there, the ICOMIA events we go to on some of this, it's fascinating to talk to those different marina owners about how they operate, what they do. And
absolutely.
So that would have been an amazing tour for some really inspirational ideas and concepts.
Sensational.
Yeah.
And much more impacted by seasons as well. I guess in Australia we have such a really moderate, temperate sort of climate most of the time. But some of those marinas are, half under snow at times of the year.
Yeah.
And, very different challenges actually.
Yeah. So what do you think is excitingly ahead for you in your career with these wonderful operations that you work with at the moment?
Look, I think more of the same. I think I'm excited by the challenge. It's a great growth period, I think, coming up for our sector. And it feels like we've all been a little bit on hold for 2 years for obvious reasons. So I think now there's a real energy in the sector. There's a real enthusiasm for events. There's a great opportunity for growth. And for the next 10 years, heading into the Olympics, it's just a wonderful period of time to be involved in this industry. And the growth in our membership's been strong, and I guess, that's something that I'm excited about. So across our 3 entities, that's really my goal, is to build membership. The increase in sponsorship interest and partnerships has also developed enormously, and as can be seen from our soiree. And we're looking forward to a great conference this year. I think, with the world starting to open up again and people starting to move around, more so than the last 2 years, it's quite a unique time, I think. And I think we'll be very, very busy.
Yeah, I think you will too. I think this industry's got great growth ahead of it. That is something we haven't mentioned, actually, your AMEX conference. Tell me about that.
Yes, our industry conference is in May up at Sanctuary Cove, and from the 16th of May, and it's the ASMEX conference is the name of it, and it covers the super yacht, the marine export group side, and the commercial marine sectors. So companies and individuals that are involved in those 3 areas are involved and encouraged to attend. And it's a full day's conference at Sanctuary Cove, and we have also, I guess the highlight of it is really our Gala Marine Industry Awards, where we recognise companies' achievements and individual achievements across those 3 sectors.
Do I get the award for drinking the most champagne at the soiree?
We have that one. We'll reserve that for you, Nikki.
Yeah, it's quite that May period is. I know our lovely Hilary from Ocean Magazine is very tired by the end of May because she goes to ASMEX, and then she does Sanctuary Cove Boat Show, and then we've got Marina's 22 coming up this year as well, which is the MIA conference as well, at which I'll be speaking, folks, which I'm looking forward to. And it's a big period of time that you're completely on, So, yeah, it's a very exciting time for the boating industry up there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful venue too. Malfa do an amazing job of Sanctuary Cove Boat Show. I can't wait to see it again this year. So thank you so much for coming in today. Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
And I will see you on the water soon. Well, it's been lovely to have you listen out there, folks. I really appreciate your ears. And if you'd like to get in contact, just follow me on Instagram at The Boat Princess, and perhaps leave me a comment on today's picture of our podcast so that we can get an idea of what you thought about it. That'd be lovely. Take care, and we'll see you on the water soon.